Tucker Carlson has a history of sanitizing stereotypes and of spreading this kind of poison. The Great Replacement Theory, as it's known, is this toxic idea that there are a cabal of Jews plotting to overrun the country with immigrants, Muslims, black people, etc., and commit what they call white genocide. It is literally a staple of white supremacist and extremist ideology.
When it comes to the global refugee crisis, for me, as the great-granddaughter of refugees who fled Russian pogroms, the work that HIAS does is that love in motion. At 134 years old, HIAS is the oldest refugee organization in the world. We rescue, resettle, and aid refugees of all ethnic and religious backgrounds through 10 offices around the world and is one of 9 volunteer agencies resettling refugees in the U.S. and the only Jewish organization amongst them. Right now, we're leading a robust advocacy effort with strong and coordinated support from the American Jewish community, from many of you, to support policies that protect refugees. The Jewish community is speaking up quite loudly on behalf of refugees and just as loudly against xenophobia and against Islamophobia with a clear voice. And we are saying, yes, we will love our neighbor. Last week, HIAS organized a letter signed by over 1,200 rabbis. Can you imagine getting 1,200 rabbis to agree on one thing? But agree they did. And what they agreed was to ask our elected officials not to halt or even to limit the United States Refugee Admissions Program.
Who is Rome and so on? Who is Esav? Because Esav is not only a persecutory agent, but it's the greatest of all the persecutory agents, and it is the longest. You know, it's been around with us as not in the form of Rome, which I will mention, but it has been around for a long time, thousands of years, and therefore Esav is the greatest of the persecutory nations, and it is the longest. It all started, of course, with Esav. Esav became Edom, which is a nation. Edom became Rome. The Torah says Esav is Edom. The Gemara says, the Talmud says, that Edom is Rome, Zuroimi. Okay, but what's interesting, of course, is that God decided that He doesn't want a nation, or rather Rome, a nation to be the greatest persecutory agent for the Jews, because that would mean that until the Mashiach comes, Rome has to be the major dominant force or nation in the entire world. And God does not want that. As it is, Rome was, a nation for at least probably close to 1,000 years. And then the one in Constantinople went even another 1,000 years after that. So what God did, which is interesting, He changed the form of Esav. Instead of it being Rome, it became Christianity. The concept of Esav as Edom and as Rome was changed, transformed into a religion. So therefore, any nation that has that religion can be considered Esav. See? So therefore, it's not one nation that is now 2,000 years or whatever, but it is a religion, and any nation that has that religion predominantly is called Esav. And that's what happened, you see. So Christianity, of course, ultimately became Western civilization. So Esav today is really Western civilization.
The Rambam says that there are 3 mitzvahs that the Jewish people were commanded to do when they entered into the land of Israel. And they are, number 1, to establish a king for themselves.
Moshiach.
Number 2, ulahachriz zarei shel Amalek, and to cut off the offsprings of the nation of Amalek. And number 3,
cut off the offsprings. Abortion, trying all the propaganda in the media telling white people to not have kids. the idea that white kids and white people are just inherently racist, you wonder, where does all this anti-white propaganda come from?
Folks, tonight's program is based upon a report by the Executive Intelligence Review, a special report by the editors of the Executive Intelligence Review. This report was first published in 1992, entitled The Ugly Truth About the ADL. The fact that none of the people, nor the ADL, has ever sued the Executive Intelligence Review over this information further substantiates the value and the truthfulness of this report.